lads, in today's video we're talking about Scottish teams in European football and the departures and positive results that have come from those fixtures, because believe it or not, to the English folk who constantly like to criticise Scottish football, and especially when we fail in Europe, there is actually some teams who do progress further in the tournament. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And we're beginning with the team that completely outclassed their opponents. Rangers against St Joseph's. On aggregate, a 10-0 win for Rangers, double figures, easy street, just simple as you like. It now means that Rangers will go and play Progress Niederkorn in the next qualifying round of the Europa League, and I think that every single Rangers fan will have shudders down their spine when they hear the name Progress and Rangers within the same sentence. Flashbacks to Pedro Caixinha sitting in a hedge arguing with Rangers fans. However, I digress. Rangers obviously had to overcome St Joseph's to get into this next round, and I think it was widely expected that they were going to do so. They're obviously going to have the better quality than a team like St Joseph's. To be honest, I don't actually know what country they come from, and I'd obviously never heard of them before they went and played Rangers in this game. And now the kind of prize for Rangers of getting through to the next round is playing the team that caused them so much controversy within their season that they were in the Europa League qualifying just a few seasons ago when they played Progress Niederkorn. And as I said, when Pedro Caixinha was manager, that was when he was really brought into question at the sort of start of his reign. Now they'll be looking to get a bit of revenge, I suppose. It's a completely different Rangers team to what it once was when it was back in Pedro Caixinha's era. I think there's probably only less than half a dozen players left from that team that are still playing regularly in the side today. Probably even less than that. And of course, the big difference is having Steven Gerrard as manager, who's instilled a whole new different style of play, ethos, and brought a sense of optimism around Rangers once again, which is highlighted in the fact that Rangers fans really do think that they can challenge for the league title this season. And I can't say I fully disagree, because they just do have the squad to be able to go on and do that now. Whether they will do it or not is up for question just yet, but certainly in the Europa League qualifying rounds they will be looking to progress. No pun intended. Of course, last year they reached the actual group stage of the Europa League, so they'll be looking to do that once again, no doubt, along with other teams involved in Europe. And the next one is Aberdeen. Aberdeen went through 4-2 on aggregate and won 2-1 last night against Rovaniemi. It was a drawn out win, but a win nonetheless. And almost a shambolic result for Derek McInnes and Aberdeen. The Aberdonians would have been having his guts for garters if Aberdeen hadn't come through this tie on the positive end of it. I mean, fed to the sheep, etc. I'm only kidding. Just like Rangers though, even though there is obviously that added expectation at Rangers to get to these sort of group stages, the Europa Leagues and stuff like that, and win trophies, etc, etc, Aberdeen have now built themselves up to be one of the clubs that really do need to try and progress even further into these sort of positions as well. Obviously, again, last year they were in the qualifying and got knocked out by Burnley, so it was a good run out for Aberdeen in last year's Europa League, but they didn't quite manage it. They'll be wanting to get further this year, and a result like this for Derek McInnes coming out on the positive end of it, despite kind of being on the brink of exits a couple of times, it's a good result. No doubt it's a good result. And just getting through to the next qualifying round is the main thing at this stage for any European club, especially when you're one of the Scottish teams that have to go through so many qualifying rounds just to get there. Aberdeen getting the win, it was sort of expected, I imagine. I don't think Rovaniemi were ever going to be a kind of big opponent for Aberdeen, and the fact that Aberdeen didn't come through the first leg being 5 or 6-0 up was actually the bigger surprise than it eventually only coming down to a couple of goals in the tie on aggregate. If Aberdeen can keep going through these rounds and eventually get to the group stage, because that will be the kind of holy grail for them, getting to the group stage, and that will be classed as a success in European football for them, in my opinion obviously. We're going to briefly touch on Celtic, who obviously still have to go through quite a lot of qualifying rounds just to get to the Champions League, despite being the champions of Scotland each and every single year. It's one of the strange dynamics of this Champions League. Obviously it's down to our coefficient ranking, which comes down to how our teams perform in Europe, but it's the fact that Celtic are champions of their league and they still have to go through just as many qualifying rounds as what Ajax had to do last year, and Ajax got to the semi-final or something like that. So it's a dynamic like that is a bit odd within the European football structure, but if we can improve our coefficient ranking, then situations like this won't happen. Regardless, Celtic got through in their tie against FK Sarajevo, and quite comfortably in the end. I think we all expected Celtic to do that as well. And going back to Celtic Park, despite the fact that they did concede a goal to Sarajevo, I think it was always in the bag for Celtic. And it's one of these results that if Neil Lennon had come out on the bad end of it, it wouldn't have started off his reign very well at all. And it would have just brought into question even more why he was given the deal when he was. I still don't think that Neil Lennon is the right man for Celtic, but he's been given the job now and he's going with it for the season ahead. Celtic still really do need to bring in quality additions to even challenge domestically, far less in European football. But we're talking about European football here, and Celtic getting through against Sarajevo is a really good result. At this stage in the competition, Celtic should be getting to the group stages in the majority of years, unless they got really unlucky in the Champions League qualifying draw. Then I see no reason why Celtic can't get to the group stage, or at least seriously be aiming for that every single year. Providing that they keep winning the league, of course. If Rangers then win the league, it'll be a different story, of course. And now, on to the biggie. The one that will be talked about for quite a wee while now. Kilmarnock FC losing 2-0 at home in their first European game in 18 years, and as a result of that, 3-2 on aggregate to semi-professional side Kilmarnock Nomads, a team that couldn't win the Welsh Premier League last year or the Iron Brew, now Tunnocks Caramel Wafer Challenge Cup. What a mouthful. Yep, that joke's back. I can confirm that the wafers are still a cracking confectionery. Going back to the result itself though, of course the people within English football that just have this agenda against Scottish football were straight on this one, and none quicker than at BWarmers or Benchwarmers on Instagram, when they said, Kilmarnock Nomads, a semi-professional side from Wales, have just knocked Kilmarnock out of the Europa League. Kilmarnock finished third in the Scottish Premiership last season. Just about sums up Scottish football. See that last line? I wanted to punch someone's head in when I read that. How ignorant can you get, eh? Pick the one result that is, yes, utterly embarrassing for the Scottish top flight, but it's certainly more embarrassing for Kilmarnock, and you fail to pick out any of the highlights, the good highlights of Aberdeen, Rangers, Celtic getting to the next rounds, and whenever our teams perform really well in Europe, like Celtics, etc, etc, Rangers performed relatively well in their group stage last season, you failed to pick out any of that. And never forget that Aberdeen did take Burnley to very, very close last year and came within a whisker of knocking out one of the teams within that elite league in England. Remember that wee meme that was going about around this time last year? It kind of fits this scenario really well. Disappointed, but not surprised.
Hey, Angelo, welcome to Killie, my friend.
Now, Angelo Alessio, eh? You've had it, pal. The guy really has lost the dressing room already at Killie, in my opinion, and I think he's certainly losing the fans just result by result and day by day. The guy has now knocked Kilmarnock out of the European stage that they were delighted to be a part of, and now they're left in a scenario where they're going into a season with a manager that's got quite the language barrier within Scottish football, no real experience within Scottish domestic football itself, and I just don't think that he's quite sold himself to the Kilmarnock fans the way he would have wanted straight away. And I think that Kilmarnock are now going to have a very tough season ahead, especially if this manager is at the helm for the rest of it. At least Gordon Sawyer sounded quite happy welcoming him to Kilmarnock, so every cloud. But aye, that's it for this video guys. Cheers for watching. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Comment down below what you think of Scottish teams in Europe and the whole departure by Kilmarnock, and also the teams getting through that did, and their ties on the back of that. Subscribe for more of this type of content. Thank you so much for 1.4k subscribers. Let's just keep that going, lads. Keep showing the support, and until our next video, which will be the vlog for Edinburgh City versus Dunfermline, the big match tomorrow. I'll see you then. Cheers, guys.